Well, hello! I'm experimenting with a new set. So I'd like to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the pens and inks that I've been using throughout the week. And it's been a nice Thanksgiving break. So I had a little more time to think about this and think about lighting and such. So I'm experimenting a little. So let me know what you think down in the comments. So let's dive into it. This week I will be using the pen formerly known as a Pevdi, a Parker 45, but I have a different nib in it, so that should be interesting. I have my Ooly, which I uploaded my first impression on Monday. Didn't do a video on Wednesday, but there are reasons. I have a Parker Sonnet, which became my daily writer pen for the last 2 weeks, which actually was a very nice experience. It's making me think I need to reevaluate how I handle daily writing. My Lamy 2000, which is my usual daily writer during the school year. An Adlatus 302, pen from the 1930s. Video I hope to film this weekend. A Reform 1745, a student pen, but quite a nice writer. An Esterbrook J, but it's a transitional model, which was given to me. A Esterbrook, oh, and I probably need to film a review on that too. An Esterbrook SJ, which is a slim and short J pen. And finally, a pen that has its own fan club, because this is one of the 2 pens in my collection I get requests for. My Omas Ogiva with a new ink in it. So those are the pens and inks that I'm using this week. As always, I'll be filming this in my Bomo art journal. So I'll begin this week's pens in use with the pen formerly known as Pevdi. I purchased on eBay for a very small amount of money, 2 steel nibs. I purchased a medium and a broad. This is the broad. And while not as broad as I maybe hoped it would be, it's not a bad writer. I had to go back, of course, and change the title and a bit of the video description for this particular pen, which was a little sad. But I did go on eBay, and there is a Pevdi on its way. It's not like a Parker 45, it's its own animal, but that's okay. I feel like I want a Pevdi in my collection after all that. And who knows, it may turn out to be counterfeit of something else. And when you buy on eBay, that is a risk you take. I've used Parker Violet. I'm sorry, not Parker. This isn't Parker. I've used Callifolio Violet and Pelikan Violet. I will have to say, as far as color goes, I like the Pelikan better. But this isn't a bad color. This week, oops. And I didn't start the audio. So when you notice suddenly that the audio quality improves a lot, that would be why. So I just turned on my microphone. My next pen is my Ooly that I did a first impression this week. This is basically not a disposable because it uses a cartridge and presumably a converter. I'm told like the Parker converters and some of the smaller nipple type converters will fit. So I'm going to try that out when this is empty. Not that, it's an amazing pen, but it's a good pen, and I can't help but think if you're trying to get, oh God, no, that's not good. So how much did I use it this week? Clearly not much. There we go. And the ink in it is whatever the black cartridge was that came with it. So apparently, I'll have to add that to my notes about the pen for if I ever do an actual review on it. Apparently, it does not hold, or does not provide good air sealing to prevent it drying out. But nevertheless, it's one of those pens like the Pilot Varsity or I'm trying to remember what they were. I had some black pens a few years ago that were like a Pilot Varsity that were quite nice, except they were refillable. You know, these are good pens to give to people. You're like, okay, I want to get you addicted to fountain pens, but I know you're not quite up to all their little quirks. And that's where the Ooly and the Pilot Varsity and such come in. And if they don't like it, you know, oh well, you're one pen that's gone. All right, this is my Parker Sonnet. Now, I did an experiment this past 2 weeks. I used this one full of Parker Quink Black as my daily writer. And you know, I was actually very happy with it. So why did I settle on the Lamy 2000? I will concede that I like how the Lamy 2000 looks a little bit better. But I like how this one writes a lot better. And of course, Parker Quink is a good black. I purchased it a few years ago. I did a video with Pierre Gustafson, a collaboration. And he was insistent that I use a safe ink in all of his pens that he loaned to me for this collaboration. So I purchased a bottle of Parker Quink, which it is a safe ink. Now, others are probably safe as well. But, you know, not my pen. Not my pens. This one's my pen. And then, of course, I had to compare it to my Lamy 2000. Now, I have been told by somebody in the comments that the Lamy 2000 tends to dry out or get gummy with Pelikan ink in it. So I'm about to find out if that's true. Well, it started right up. And I kind of need to work my way through this ink because I have, well, not a liter anymore, but close to a liter. The Parker Quink black is kind of a warmer black, if that makes any sense. You know, your blacks are made out of a whole bunch of pigments mixed together. You know, sometimes they can just use black pigment, but again, how do you make that? And the Parker just seems to have, I don't know, more of the warmer colors in it. On that note, I read an interesting thing about, was it, they were comparing the Edelstein Pelikan inks to the regular line like this. And, you know, what's the difference? So, I inked my Adlatus 302. Now, this is a 1930s pen with a fine steno nib on it. I inked this up with a Pelikan Edelstein Onyx. So if you're going to pay that much more, it better be for more than just, oh, look at the pretty bottle. So I think it would be interesting to do some paper chromatography with the two inks. I'm told that this is more lubricated or smoother on the paper. This isn't one of my smoothest nibs, so probably if I'm going to compare it, I want to do it with two of the same kind of pen. I don't know if the color will be that different. I'm told that the Edelstein Onyx also will have a little more shading to it. But with a fine nib, it's not like you're really going to see that too well. But, you know, just, and of course the Lamy is a little bit broader than either the Parker or the Adlatus. But just looking, I think I see a little more shading. It's a little more grayish, so if you don't mind that. Oh, a news app just randomly popped up on my computer. Did that the last time we filmed a video too, and it never does any other time, so what's up with that? I don't know. All right. Now we're going to go to a student pen. This is a Reform 1745. Nice pen, one of my first introductions to vintage pens. I bought this at the same time as I bought my Kaweco V14S. I liked that one better, but this is a good pen too. A little bit of an iron gall ink. I need to do a video about this one of these days, but when you hear iron gall, it should not strike the terror into you that it would have at another time. Modern iron gall inks have their quirks, but they're a totally different animal from the vintage iron gall inks. And you get that fun color changing thing going on with these. I have an Esterbrook Transitional pen, which I can't remember if I filmed the video or if I'm going to. I'll have to look at my list. I've talked about this pen enough that it's all sort of running together. So this is an Esterbrook J Transitional model. When I film its review eventually, I will talk about what makes it transitional. The ink in it is Platinum Classic Cassis Black. The Esterbrook, or I'm sorry, I think I said that with the Forest one here. These Platinum Classic inks are very interesting. So Platinum has some iron gall inks. Quizzy, of course, has a whole bunch of iron gall inks. Rohrer and Klingner has, I believe, 2 iron gall inks. Just all in all, just interesting kind of inks. My Esterbrook SJ short nib, or I'm sorry, short pen. SJ, I'm going with slender or short J, because it's both narrower and shorter than the regular J pen. I know I did a video of this one recently. I don't like how it posts, but it has to post or it's really uncomfortable. It has an oblique fine nib. Which that would be the 9314. And that's why I'm holding it at an angle. The ink I have in it is Colorverse Interstellar Space. And I enjoy the theme and the names behind the Colorverse inks. But other than a 4-pack of very small bottles, I haven't purchased any of them. I think partly that's because I've got way too many inks, including a giant bag of Quizzy inks, so samples, I should say. Not Quizzy, Krishna. So expect to see those starting to appear soon, especially in first impressions. I'm a little nervous using them with vintage pens, but some of my other pens, absolutely. I've got a whole bunch of Indian and Chinese pens that were given to me to give away, but I'm going to review them first. My last pen for today is an Omas Ogiva Cocktail. Oops, I thought I might have smeared ink, but it was dry by now. I just filled it up with a kind of different ink. This, by the way, I should mention, has an extra flessibile medium nib. I've heard a few companies have taken up the mantle I haven't felt ready to purchase one, but perhaps that's in my future someday. So EF means extra flessibile, M means medium. And the ink in it is, let me look at the name here, Kala ink. So apparently that's the brand. Nostalgia would be the line of ink. And then this color, which, I don't know, this looks purple. Oh, you didn't see anything yet. This looks purple to me, so I'm not quite getting the reference. But it's called Mongolian Sandstorm. So, alrighty then. I don't think Mongolia has purple sand, but it's possible it's referring to how the color of the sky changes. I just don't know. The colors, when you look at them in their line, are all very muted, very similar, especially when they're dry. Yeah, now when this dries, it's still kind of purplish, but not garishly so like that. So my photograph, I always put detailed photographs, a close-up I take with, the cell phone, down at the bottom of the page. So I think what I'm going to do when I put this picture up, I'm going to wait for this to completely dry. Then I'm going to make another swatch like this, after the video's over, of course. And just so the two can be compared, the two colors. So you can always find that in my video descriptions. So nobody has said much yet about what they think of me doing the set this way. It's a different view. Unlike last week, there's not police cars and all kinds of action out that window. But I'm okay with that. I'm hoping that's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. But I just thought it'd be interesting because, I don't know, something different. And I'm experimenting. It's not working the best. I need to play with it some more, but I'm experimenting a little with backlighting. I might, I won't bore you with the technical details. I'll have to, when I get this all worked out, I'll have to do a behind-the-scenes type of video. But anyway, so I'm experimenting with a different type of set. Of course, it's United States, so we have a United States Thanksgiving, which was November 28th, yesterday. I spent that with some friends, actually just a few blocks that way, which was handy because I came home on a glaze of ice, and happy to say I was on foot. Not so much on foot when I went to the grocery store this morning. That was interesting, especially all the ice I had to chip off the car. So it's laying down a nice glaze of ice, and we could by Sunday have about 15 inches of snow, which somebody translated to about 30 centimeters. No, that can't be. It's got to be more than 30. Well, anyway, sorry, I'm doing math in my head all of a sudden. But, yeah, a lot of snow. At least 15 inches. It might not happen, but it's actually the way the forecast is changing. It's not making less snow more possible. It's making more snow more possible. So, yeep! So, hope not. Take a quick look at my outline here. Last week I got off on a little bit of a tangent about live streaming. I know some people don't like it with pens in use, and I will agree. Live streams are a different animal. They tend to wander off topic. Worse than I'm doing right now, because if I decide it's too bad, I just edit the footage out and nobody knows unless you see me suddenly go, sudden change of position or whatever. So, yeah, that's a weakness to live streaming. So I'm working on some ideas for a show and when I could do it to do a more regular live stream type show. I'm pretty sure with my job it's just going to have to be a weekend type show. Wednesday is a possibility, but usually that's the night I'm not stuck at school because of some North Dakota things. And that's the night if I'm out of food, I can cook more food for the rest of the week. So yeah, that's not probably going to happen. So a weekend thing. So we'll see. I need to think out the details. I may experiment with it tomorrow. We'll see. But I can't even guarantee certain times for any of this yet because I have irregular obligations of various kinds, work and non-work related over the weekend. So just work it out. we'll see. It doesn't have to be a regular show like Pens in Use. I'm thinking about it being a compare pens type of show. I also want to fit driving videos in more, so as I batch film this holiday weekend, and I know we've got an upcoming much longer holiday, I would like to just get ahead on these types of it. Well, I guess not Pens in Use, but my pen videos anyway, and so I can spend some more time on other types of projects, like my productivity series, which I still don't know what day that's going to be, but I've been, in my free moments, writing down a lot of ideas, so I really want that to be a thing. Let's see. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this new set, anyway. And what you think of the idea of a live stream to compare pens, and then whatever comes up, comes up. Pen Talk! I'll have to think up some clever name for it. Probably cleverer than Pens in Use, because I see some other channels are doing Pens in Use, but they're calling it by much more poetic names, so of course I come up with Pens in Use, because that's how I roll. But it is my most popular show, so, you know, it's not going anywhere. A couple other things I've been playing with, because I had some time Thursday morning, you know, before I went off to be with my friends. I can put whole notebooks from Evernote online. So I'm looking at, you know, I always do video descriptions. I compose them on Evernote, like all the links and everything already set up as I film this. I just have to copy and paste the whole thing into YouTube when I upload this video. And I can make entire notebooks available, not for you to edit, but for you to see. I don't want to do the notebook where this is, because it's kind of a mess. But I've been thinking about that. It's searchable, but then I think at the same time, well, then they can also just search on YouTube, and where's the benefit? So, I don't know. I think there's benefit in providing the high-resolution photos, but I don't know if Evernote offers enough extra for me to bother doing that. I like it as a one-time only. Yep, here, if you want to go see this Pens in Use close-ups, there you go. But I've been playing with another piece of software called Notion that provides me a lot more flexibility. So I've been looking at that a little bit, and I'm not sure where I am with that. You know, if I put too much on Notion, then I end up having to pay for it. I already pay for Evernote, and I don't know that I want to pay. I mean, it would be a lot less than I make from the advertising on this channel, but still, just the general principle, if I'm only doing it for the pen channel. So, anyway, options I'm looking through. I know some YouTubers, like Matt Armstrong, when he was still doing this, and Stephen Brown, both have web pages to go with it. I do have a web page. I was very good at it for a while as a, you know, WordPress type blog, and then I just kind of dropped it. It got so many spam comments, I didn't like that, and it got very little traffic. So I'm not sure where I'm at. You know, the nice thing with Evernote is you can see the close-ups of the pictures, and really, if you want to search out my videos, search them out here on YouTube. So we'll see. Something to think about. And then I guess that's about all I have for extra topics. Just looking out the back window there. So that will be a lot whiter. I'm going to, as I edit this footage, I'll get a chance to see how it looks. So if I continue to do it here, you can expect to see a much whiter setting out there. Unless, of course, the curtains are closed, then it's all up for grabs. But I'll experiment a little bit with the backlighting, and anyway, it's a fun for me to try new things. If I keep doing the same thing, I feel like I'm stagnating, and I know there's an argument to be made for incremental improvement. And I don't shy away from that. I don't deny that. But just for my own sake, I've got to try new things. So, I'm trying a new thing here. And who knows, maybe a year from now I'll feel like switching back. Maybe for the summer I'll start filming these in the morning when I'm backlit by the sunlight streaming through the window right over there. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And do you have any comments? Especially, how do you like this new arrangement? Is there anything I could try differently? Do you like the old arrangement better? And of course, comments about ideas for the live stream. Do you like the idea of comparing pens? So let us know down in the comments. And hey, maybe you've experienced the different blacks I used this week. The Pelikan and the two Pelikans especially. I'm kind of curious about what's your experience. How are they different from each other? Or how are they the same? So leave a comment down below. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.